UFC 299 just recently wrapped up, and I'm going to recap the entire card. Looking forward to talking about this one, the end of the 200s era for the UFC. Make sure you guys smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. And let's talk about the first fight of the night. Starting the card off, Joanne Wood and Maryna Moroz actually put on a really good fight. Moroz looked dominant in the grappling early, and then second and third round, Wood's striking started to come together for her. In the third round, she lands a spinning back fist and drops Maryna Moroz. Wood retired after the fight. Savage way to go out, especially because her record was 8-8 going into this. At least she retires 9-8. Positive UFC record, and she beat Maryna Moroz, who subbed her very quickly early in the UFC run. Wood is an Ultimate Fighter veteran. She's been around forever. Almost got to the world title. She was top 5 for a good amount of time and had some good scraps throughout her run too. And late, even at 38, she came on real strong. We saw like a prime Joanne Wood in round 3 with Moroz, and I was very impressed. And a great way to close out the career. The rightful winner, Joanne Wood, gets it done, and I was very happy for her. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, it was Asu Almabaev versus CJ Vergara. Almabaev with pretty much a clean grappling dominance throughout the whole thing. Had some decent strikes. Vergara had okay moments. He was keeping his hands down low as hell because he was so worried about Almabaev's takedowns that his boxing flow really could never get going. Almabaev had decent strikes on the feet, but for the most part, consistently landing takedowns, taking the back of Vergara, but no near finishes really in this fight. It was Almabaev embracing the grind, using that Kazakh wrestling, landing consistent takedowns, and controlling CJ. He's a good flyweight prospect. I'm not going to go crazy in depth with the breakdown of every moment because it wasn't like a highlight reel fight, but it was a decent performance. He's got skill, and he shut out CJ Vergara over 3 rounds, and it was impressive. Good wrestling. Should be an interesting player at flyweight. Next fight on the card, Robelis Despaigne versus Josh Parisian. Listen, 18-second fight, but there is some stuff to talk about here. First and foremost, the hype looks pretty legit. Robelis Despaigne has a freakish frame. He also has crazy knockout power going backwards. Now, Josh Parisian was essentially a punching bag, a sacrificial lamb for Robelis Despaigne to slaughter. But the way that Despaigne won was exactly how he should have won, fighting a sacrificial lamb. He absolutely destroyed him in 18 seconds. He landed a nice right hand going backwards. Like, he's rocking Parisian off his back foot. I can't imagine if he's sitting on shots. Parisian drops a little bit of ground and pound. Parisian's eyes are tight shut as he's getting pounded out. Good stoppage by the ref. Day before, Francis Ngannou, the heavyweight freak, gets knocked out by Anthony Joshua. Now we got Robelis Despaigne. Cuba's got a heavyweight contender on the come up. I'm very interested. The curiosity that I have and the fear that I have, I guess, will be if he can't stop a takedown or can't get up from the ground. But damn, in the stand-up department, Robelis Despaigne looks epic, and I am so excited because we saw a heavyweight prospect get exposed. We'll talk about that a little bit later as we get into some of the other fights to break down. But Robelis Despaigne looked real good here. He put it on Josh Parisian, dropped him bad. I'm looking forward to what's next. I think 35, you're going to get a better test than a Josh Parisian next time, who's a back-end heavyweight. But I like Despaigne a lot. Dude's a savage. Dude's marketable, and I can't wait for what's next. Quick knockout. Dude's knocking everybody out in the first round. Next fight, Michel Pereira versus Michel Oleksiejczuk. Pereira destroyed Michel Oleksiejczuk. I've never seen Oleksiejczuk look like that. He got absolutely ran over. It was easy. Pereira rocked him with a body shot, so I guess stunned him with a body shot is a better way to put it. And then he gets the back and subs him. It was brutal. Rear naked choke. Pereira's striking looks insane. He is a scary middleweight, and the way that he dispatched of Oleksiejczuk to me was super impressive because Caio Borralho didn't beat him that easily. What did Borralho do to him? Let's double check. Borralho got him by second round sub. It took Pereira a minute. His striking is on point. His jiu-jitsu is really solid. And I think Michel Pereira made the best decision ever moving up in weight because he looks like a different fighter at 185 than at 170. Super impressed. Next fight on the card, Philipe Lin's Iwan Cutelaba. Lin's looked good. He fought smart, chopped up the legs of Cutelaba, stopped takedowns, outstruck him, beat him. Cutelaba was more calculated than normal, but maybe he needed that psycho chaos style so he could rock Philipe Lin's early in the fight. Because Linz was able to touch him up from the outside, stop takedowns. I mean, he got hit with some decent shots, but ultimately Linz won the whole thing. He picked Cutelaba apart for the most part. It was a good win for Philipe Linz, and after he said he wants to be on the Brazil card. Linz has got 4 wins in a row. Let's put him on the damn Brazil card. He's actually looking solid. At heavyweight, he was looking like a bust, but dropping to 205, he's been looking good. Next fight on the card, it was Kyler Phillips, Pedro Munhoz, passing of the torch. Kyler Phillips outstruck Pedro Munhoz for 3 rounds. He looked very good. He looked slick. He looked fast. His jab's on point. His strikes from the outside are crazy. His gas tank looked good. Pedro Munhoz got touched up. Munhoz was gutsy till the very end, trying his hardest, but Kyler Phillips was just evidently faster, evidently better from distance, strung his punches together more impressively, and I thought he looked excellent. I was impressed by Kyler Phillips here. He had a bit of a breakout performance because Pedro Munhoz sent back Chris Gutierrez, who was trying to emerge, as a top contender at bantamweight. Kyler Phillips did his thing with Pedro Munhoz, man. He styled on him beautifully. I love the striking display. Some eye pokes early, but ultimately it's part of the game. He busted Munhoz up. And Kyler Phillips is a really good prospect. Trains at the same gym as Sean O'Malley. I think that Kyler Phillips also has a bright future, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do moving up the ranks. Now that the gas tank issues seem to be fixed, he's going to be hell to deal with on the feet for the majority of guys at 135 pounds. Next fight on the card, it was Mateusz Gamrot versus Rafael dos Anjos. I have to accept the fact that Mateusz Gamrot is not the most entertaining style. He is going to embrace the grind and wrestle. He's great at it, and ultimately it is very effective, and it's a smart bet. Now, he got rocked very badly early in the first round, but then was consistently wrestling RDA and had okay striking moments, but for the most part, Gamrot is looking to engage in grappling entanglements, and he does very good at landing takedowns, keeping a chain wrestling pace, and you know what? Rafael dos Anjos, at nearly 40 years old, he had a hard-fought performance, and he looked good. I do think he slowed down a bit, but going 3 rounds with Gamrot and hurt him in the first, there's no shame in this loss here, really, for Mateusz Gamrot. Gamrot styled on him, but he didn't win any fans, right? That's the issue with Gamrot's style. It's very effective for victory, but to earn that world title shot, he's a couple away. I don't know the exact opponent off the top of my head. I'll drop in every fight I need to see next video tomorrow, or I guess today, later today, and I'll sit on that and I'll matchmake for him. But I do think that Mateusz Gamrot has a great wrestling game, and it's going to be difficult for a ton of guys at 155 to deal with, because it's just constant. The dude, entangles or chains his positions, I should say, very beautifully. He entangles and grappling tremendously. It was a dominant display for the most part, aside, a couple moments for RDA, but Gamrot was the one controlling in the grappling. Good performance for him. Wrestling on point, as it always is. Excuse me, I got the dang hiccups over here. Next fight was Maycee Barber versus Katlyn Cerminara. Close fight, but definitely Maycee Barber's at the end. Cerminara is a rangy striker that chose to engage Maycee Barber in grappling. For whatever reason, she fought into Maycee Barber's game. And not so much grappling on the ground, but the grappling in the clinch, right? She chose to engage in close, and that's where Barber shines. Maycee Barber's a great prospect at 25, and she's definitely gotten leaps and bounds better since that Roxanne Modafferi loss some years ago now. Beating Katlyn Cerminara, she's fighting for the next number 1 contender spot, probably, right? Because we have Erin Blanchfield taking on Manon Fiorot. Maycee Barber will fight somebody that, would put her into the true upper echelon. Because you beat Katlyn Cerminara, you're a top contender at 125 pounds. The thing is, we have Shevchenko, Grasso coaching the Ultimate Fighter. We have them then fighting, and then Fiorot versus Blanchfield winner probably getting the shot. Albeit if there's an injury, Maycee Barber may potentially be able to slip in and get a title shot. So she'd definitely be somebody on standby for a title shot. She still is only 25 years old, so there's a lot of time. I don't know exactly the ranked opponent next. Nobody is popping in my head as yeah, that's the fight that she should definitely have next. But she is close to the top. I mean, if Blanchfield or Manon Fiorot were not booked for next month, I would say that either one of those could be a great matchup for her. But that's not the case here. Maycee Barber, nonetheless, pulls it off, gets a clean win. Cerminara at 35 still looked okay. I mean, I still think she's got some fights left in her, but her title aspirations at this point are completely gone. Barber's a good prospect. She's evolved. Good athlete, tough girl, scrappy as hell, will get in your face the whole time. Very frustrating style. It was a good performance. Next one, Curtis Blaydes exposes Jailton Almeida. First round, Jailton Almeida's grappling was looking excellent. Landing takedowns, but not doing any damage. There was 8 strikes thrown between the both of them combined in the first round. It was mostly Jailton controlling body lock, back position, mat return, mat return, mat return, mat return. It was a grappling heavy first round, not the most impressive. Second round, Jailton Almeida striking a bit. He's letting his hands go a bit. Then he shoots a takedown from far out. And he does shoot from far out a bit too often. We're thinking an uppercut landed, but it didn't. Curtis Blaydes is peppering him with hammer fist as Jailton is in on that takedown. And Jailton got rocked from hammer fist by Curtis Blaydes. He turns over, covers up. Fight is over. Jailton Almeida, he has been knocked out before, so his chin, I guess, was suspect. But the way that he went out was embarrassing, man. It was a bad look. Now, granted, you're losing to Curtis Blaydes, who's an absolute monster. And I still believe Jailton Almeida is going to win a lot of fights at heavyweight by dominating guys on the ground. I feel like Curtis Blaydes, though, cemented himself as like, okay, he's that level tide turn, right? The way that he can fight, he's not just a guy that can chain wrestle and hold you. He's a guy that can also box you up. And Jailton Almeida ultimately just goes to grappling. It was like desperation shots, you know? It's like a much better version of what we see from Claudio Puellas. That's what Jailton Almeida, I guess, has become in my mind. Curtis Blaydes is really amongst the top guys in the world. He called out Tom Aspinall. Having that injury win over Tom Aspinall is very interesting because even though Curtis Blaydes is not maybe the biggest needle mover as far as a heavyweight contender would go, seeing him rematch with Tom Aspinall, we get a final answer to who the winner in that fight would have been. I think there's a satisfaction there. And I think Tom Aspinall probably would be interested in getting that back. So Curtis Blaydes, just because of circumstance, may end up getting an interim title shot against Tom Aspinall. I mean, you look at Marlon Vera, who fought in the main event. He had a loss to Sandhagen, right? Fight before, but he had that win over Vera he had that win over O'Malley some time ago and was able to emerge into a title picture. Curtis Blaydes might be fighting for the interim belt. Now, I don't think that it does the numbers, so it's definitely a possibility they give it to Cyril Gane. But Blaydes is still a top player in the weight class, and his wrestling is very solid. One-trick pony, Jailton Almeida, when he couldn't land that takedown. Some hammer fist put him unconscious, man. Stock dropped a ton. He went from looking like a B-plus prospect to, I would say, a C prospect. Now, not saying that he isn't going to take out back-end guys in the UFC heavyweight division, because he's going to destroy all the strikers. But the way Curtis Blaydes put him out was just hard to watch for Jailton. And you lose a little bit of that oomph in Jailton. If you would have lost a gutsy performance, he got caught with a big shot, got knocked out on the feet, maybe was, I don't know, in a close fight. Like, I think it's different. Could have went differently. Could have at least stock-wise went differently. His stock has taken a hard fall here, man. Jailton Almeida's Brazilian hype-train prospect has kind of come to a screeching halt now with this loss here. Curtis Blaydes, listen, he's one of the top-tier heavyweights in the world. He always has been. Good win for him. Good win for Curtis. Let's jump to the main card opener. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash the likes. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Petr Yan was my lock of the week. So there was a lot riding on this matchup, and I was ecstatic to see Petr Yan get the win. First round was very rough, competitive first round, but Song Yadong was dangerous. Live, I scored it for Petr Yan, but, you know, albeit I think there might have been a slight live scoring bias from me because Petr Yan was the lock of the week. Second and third round were definitely Yan's. Yadong's powerful and explosive, and he even had wrestling moments in the fight, but Yan's slickness with his hands is fucking incredible. And you know what? He ended up on top position a couple of times, and it worked out beautifully for him. He's still a top player in the world in the UFC bantamweight division. He's incredibly slick. He has excellent boxing. He strings his punches together so well. Song Yadong, young guy, 26, top tier 2, right? He's a true top 7 talent in the world. Petr Yan, the former champion, it's like a return to form for him. I really do believe it was a hard fight, though, with Song. Like, it wasn't easy. He was feeling the effects of the fight in round number 3. I don't know exactly what they'll do next with Petr Yan because he's lost to the upper echelon guys in the division. But at least he's cemented himself as being back. Petr Yan is back. Song Yadong, He'll probably get sent back a little bit of ways, but he's still an exciting guy to watch. He's still top caliber. Even in loss, he showed that he deserves to be in the conversation with the upper echelon of UFC bantamweights. But yeah, I was grateful as hell that Jan got it done. Big W, Piotr Jan, and we're back on that lock streak, baby. Let's go. Next fight of the card was Jack Della Maddalena, Gilbert Burns. I scored the first round for JDM. I thought his boxing was more effective than Gilbert Burns' grappling. And then if you look at the second round, Gilbert Burns' grappling was on point, and his striking was on point too. Third round, Jack Della Maddalena was put in a bad spot, taken down by Burns against the cage. He made a mistake, and it looked like this fight may be over. He pulls off a Matrix-style rollout from the cage, gets to his feet, knees Gilbert Burns in the face, rocks him, right? Follows up with shots, drops him, finishes him off with ground and pound, and a late stoppage by Dan Miragliotta. I love Dan Miragliotta. I met him personally a couple of times, and you know what? He's a gem of a guy. But that stoppage was super late because Gilbert Burns was just turtling up and just taking shot after shot after shot after shot. I thought they could have stopped it 5 punches before, 5 strikes before. Jack Della's hands are incredibly good. His timing on that knee was epic. And knocking out Gilbert Burns in that fashion, that's how you push yourself into the top of the weight class. But instead of going for an easy call out, right? Oh, let me try to get a Colby Covington fight. Or even, let's fight a prospect. Let's fight Ian Gary. Who does he call out? He calls out Shavkat Rakhmonov. That is the most badass call out because he's looking to take out the best guy in the world. He wants to find out, is he that dude? Shavkat's the real top-tier contender. I know Bilal, obviously, but Shavkat is the dark, or not even the dark horse. He's the main horse. He's the stallion that everybody believes is going to become world champion. And Jack Della, another great prospect, says, I want to fight him. I think that's a 5-round fight night main event. I think that's a true number one contender fight if it's not Shavkat in the title picture already. Jack Della, with this win here, he's top tier. And the way that he beat Gilbert Burns was impressive. He knocked Gilbert Burns out. That's what made it epic. He didn't just beat him on a competitive decision. He finished Gilbert Burns. That was huge, man. That knee was perfectly timed. Jack Della Maddalena's grappling is good, too. He has great get-ups. I like the Shavkat fight. I think we should make that next. UFC, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Jack Della Maddalena, Australia versus Kazakhstan. I'm all in on that one. Burns, he should take some time off after the knockout loss. He is 37. He's out of the title picture, but I thought he was out of the title picture even, heading into this fight. I don't think retirement is necessarily what's next. I expect Gilbert Burns to decide to do another fight. He's a fan favorite guy. He's still got a good style. It's just there was a different level in the striking, man. His grappling still was good. And if not for Jack Della's Matrix-style game on the ground and finding ways up to his feet and excellent timing, Gilbert Burns might have won a competitive decision. Great win for Jack Della. Next fight was our featured bout of the night. It was Michael Venom Page versus Kevin Holland. And Michael Venom Page is that guy. Frustrating striking attack, the hands-low style. The right hands that he was landing were epic. He rocked Kevin Holland numerous times, hit him with a spin elbow at the end of the first round that cut Holland open. He hit him again with that spin elbow, I believe, in the third round. He had good striking moments. Round 2, Kevin Holland did end up on top, but it wasn't because of a takedown. It was because Michael Venom Page was getting so loose with the strike, he ended up slipping, falling to the ground, and Holland did work from top. Page did eventually work his way back up to the feet, which I thought was a positive thing to take away, and had more striking moments to close out that second round. Then in the third round, it's Venom Page all day. He kind of hit Kevin Holland as Holland was going for a glove touch. It was like a Superman punch. Boom, that lands down the line. Holland then gets tripped as well by Venom Page. And Holland's like, bro, I was going for a glove touch. Page and him were very respectable competitors. He lets him up. He bows to him, and they got back to work. And Michael Venom Page outstruck Kevin Holland for the whole thing. Had him slipping and sliding, falling to the floor, buckling his legs a bit. Michael Venom Page is that good at striking. And I think that it would be stupid for the UFC not to recognize that you can set up a battle of the most unique striking styles, maybe in history, and we do Wonderboy versus Michael Venom Page. Who doesn't want to see Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Michael Venom Page? I wanted to see that as a debut. We got Holland first. Let's make it happen. Michael Venom Page versus Wonderboy. I think it'd be a great fight. Listen, Kevin Holland didn't have that gentleman's agreement with Michael Venom Page. He didn't just get up to his feet. He tried to grapple with him. He tried to get him down. He couldn't. I think Michael Venom Page and Wonderboy would be epic. I think that's a fight night main event. I think that's a specialty 5-round pay-per-view featured bout of the night. I want to see 5 rounds. Battle of elite striking. Battle of the best karate kickboxing you'll damn ever see. Crazy unique style for Michael Venom Page. Insane ability to close the gap in and out of range like nobody else. Excellent performance by Michael Venom Page. Tough as hell, Kevin Holland, but he was clearly outmatched by the better technician. Welcome to the UFC. I've watched Michael Venom Page's Bellator run since the start. I always knew he was good, and he is damn good. Now, you could say, oh, but it was a tailor-made matchup. Sure, and let's give him another one. Let's do Wonderboy. I want to see him versus the best strikers. You have to take advantage of a striker like this and put him, or rather, not take advantage, like put him in a bad spot. I'm talking about as a marketing, mindset, as a business. I'm taking advantage of. I'm doing Michael Venom Page versus Wonderboy. I don't want to see him fight Bilal. Yeah, Michael Venom Page is a savage. Looking forward to what's next, and it better be Wonderboy UFC. Co-main event of the evening, Upset City. Dustin Poirier sleeps Benoit Saint Denis after hell to deal with in the first round. I thought it was over in the first. Benoit's dominating the grappling, getting the back in Poirier's face the whole time. Now, something that we have to write about Benoit Saint Denis moving forward is the dude does not move his head. He comes in completely stiff on the center line. And Poirier started finding shots in that second round when Benoit slowed down a bit. Now, granted, Poirier is pulling for these fucking guillotines. He pulls guard, shooting these guillotines constantly. And even said after the fight that he wasn't going to stop doing that. That's his thing. He's going to stick to it. Gotta love Poirier, man. Holy shit. Underdog. I doubted him because I said Benoit's grappling. And Benoit's grappling was looking incredible. But then he slowed down a bit. And Poirier found an uppercut early in the second round that dropped Benoit. But Benoit was able to out-grapple him and looked like he had Poirier in a horrible spot. Poirier gets back up to his feet, though. And then Poirier lands more shots on the feet. Right hook from southpaw. He's a right-handed southpaw. It's a powerful thing. Lands the right hook. Down goes Benoit. Lands the straight shot flat out. It was one of the most vicious knockouts this year. It was epic, man. It was epic. Dustin Poirier, he came back in full effect. And he's in an interesting spot because I wouldn't be that mad if he got a world title shot. It's just weird because he has the BMF belt loss to Justin Gaethje. It depends how this Gaethje-Holloway fight goes. Depends how this Oliveira-Sarukian fight goes. Potentially a BMF rematch, either against Max Holloway or against Justin Gaethje in a trilogy fight. That's what could be next for Poirier. I think it's back to big fights. He's not fighting behind them any longer. He's fighting the elite of the elite and the biggest names in the sport. Dustin Poirier, he still got it. At 35, he looked good, man. And the hands were on fire. Now, granted, he was tested, out-muscled, out-grappled for a bit, but he weathered the storm from Benoit Saint Denis, and he flatline KO'd him in super impressive fashion. Now, I don't think it's over for Benoit Saint Denis because he is a bully. The dude's going to out-grapple a lot of people, and not everybody has the precise boxing of Poirier. And a lot of dudes are getting finished off on the ground by Benoit Saint Denis. They're not going to survive like Dustin. I'm still excited for what's next for Benoit. I still want to see more out of Benoit Saint Denis. I think Beneil Dariush and him is still a fight that makes sense. I don't know where Beneil's timeline of return is at. I think both of these guys, being Benoit and Beneil Dariush, they needed some time off, but maybe timelines work out perfectly and they come back against one another. I don't think it's a bad idea. But Poirier, great win, big underdog win, and he showed that he shouldn't have been a dog heading into this one. He's still that dog, though. Absolutely epic. Dustin Poirier's back. He's back. He's back in title contention again. He's always one fight away. He's never lost 2 fights in a row in 50 damn fights. Dustin Poirier's a savage. Next fight was our main event of the evening. It was Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera 2. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash the likes. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Sean O'Malley put on a striking masterclass against Marlon Chito Vera. I writ down my scorecard right here. Every round, 10-9, Sean O'Malley, 50-45, clearly outstruck Marlon Chito Vera. He strung his punches together beautifully. Excellent distance management. Movement was out of this world. Combinations are crazy. Slickness with the 1-2 is insane. The knee that he landed on Marlon Chito Vera's face would knock out the vast majority of bantamweights in the world. But somehow Marlon Chito Vera, maybe something breaking in his face because his eyes swelled up and cut afterwards, still survives and goes the full 5. And he got touched up bad. His eye was bothering him horribly in the 5th round because of a straight shot. It looked like he might end up getting TKO'd, but he fought through it. The grit and determination of Marlon Chito Vera, that Ecuadorian pride, second to none. But Sean O'Malley is that guy. He's actually that fucking good. His striking is insane. You compare Corey Sandhagen, Marlon Vera, and Sean O'Malley, Marlon Vera, You, Sean O'Malley, even the haters, bro. The Sean O'Malley haters, you know. Sean O'Malley's striking's better. Sean O'Malley's that guy. Very few fighters have the sophisticated striking that he has. It's special, man. His boxing's insane. He rights his only wrong of his career with his Marlon Vera loss. And he gets a W in the rematch. And he proves it to be, I guess, a bit of a fluke because he cleanly outstruck him and he looked so damn good. He was so much better than Chito Vera. Faster, more technical, more precise. What else could you have asked for? I guess a knockout. That's what you could have asked for. Sean O'Malley by knockout is what you could have wanted. But it was a 5-round masterclass. He was ripping the body of Chito Vera, too, with punches and kicks, which I thought was really smart. The way he strings his punch combinations and kicks together, world class. Sean O'Malley is that fucking good. And after the fight, he called out Ilia Topuria. He said, I'll fight Moroz, but he wants the Ilia Topuria super fight. And I think that O'Malley gets the McGregor treatment. That Moroz fight will always be there. A UFC Spain fight with Sean O'Malley going up in weight, challenging Ilia Topuria in a battle of two of, the new champions and stars on the come up, really star Sean O'Malley and on the come up star Ilia Topuria. I think that would be a good idea. I'm very intrigued by it too. Because Sean O'Malley has that distance striking and speed advantage on Topuria, but something that Ilia Topuria has, knockout power. Out of this world knockout power. And his boxing is really smooth. His grappling is very solid, but O'Malley's not an easy guy to get a hold of. I think that super fight makes sense. I'm in. I want to do it. I knew that if Sean O'Malley was to win, that Topuria fight was probably next. The Moroz fight will still be there. Maybe even Moroz versus Corey Sandhagen interim title fight. And then O'Malley goes up, fights Topuria, regardless of the outcome, then goes down and maybe fights against the Moroz Sandhagen winner. Or if he knocks out Topuria, who knows? Maybe he stays at 145 pounds and ends up fighting Max Holloway. Maybe Max Holloway wins the BMF belt, drops to 45, and defends it against Sean O'Malley in some wild-ass weird turn of events. And Sean O'Malley's fighting for, a third belt against an all-time great in Max Holloway. I don't know. So many ways this thing could turn out, but I think Sean O'Malley moving up in weight is what's going to happen. And maybe he's better at 45 because he's 5'11". He's not a short guy. You could easily fight at light freaking weight. Honestly, height-wise, lightweight. Moving up to featherweight, it's a good move. And he's a bantamweight right now. It's freakishly tall. Got to let out some coughs, man. Still a little under the weather, but we fought through it. I was live for the whole card. Content every day. Sean O'Malley for the win. I predicted O'Malley decision. Perfect call. I'm very happy about that. And the Sugar Show keeps it rolling. Takes out Chito Vera. I thought he looked excellent. The striking was insane. I mean, Vera had a couple moments. He rocked O'Malley bad with a body shot. He shut him down at the very end of the fight in the 5th round. The best shot Chito Vera landed was like at the buzzer, the body hook. And then O'Malley actually sat down after the fight. He wasn't walking around with his hands up because that shit took the wind completely out of him. Wonder if somebody like Ilia Topuria is going to go towards body work on Sean O'Malley after seeing that. Interesting note. Gutsy effort by Chito Vera. Masterclass performance by Sean O'Malley. That was the UFC 299 main event. As far as the picks, lock of the week hit, very grateful. Main event hit, very grateful. 8 wins, 6 losses. We started it off. I did have Moroz to win over Wood. Took an L to start the night. Had Almabaev over Vergara, got a win. Had Despaigne over Parisian, got a win. Had Michel Pereira over Oleksiejczuk, got a win. Was 3-1 on the early prelims. And then I had Cutelaba over Linz, took an L. Had Munhoz over Phillips as a dog, took an L. Had Mateusz Gamrot over RDA, perfect prediction there. Had Katlyn Cerminara as a dog over Barber, took a fat L there. Picked Jailton over Blaydes, took a fat L there. So, prelims, they were a little rocky. 4 wins, 5 losses on the prelims, but 4-1 on the main card. 1 with Petr Yan as the lock of the week with a perfect prediction. 1 with Jack Dello over Gilbert Burns. 1 with Michael Venom Page over Kevin Holland. Lost with Benoit Saint Denis to Dustin Poirier. And then 1 with Sean O'Malley by Marlon Vera at the top. So 8-6, solid calls. I thought the knockout was possible here. I picked Page decision, Yan decision. So honestly, good shit towards the top of the card. And then finishing off with the main event victory was beautiful as well. And it snaps that main event dog streak that was going on. That was UFC 299. Like I said, the end of an era, the end of the 200s era. Now we head to UFC 300, which goes down in April, and I'm very excited for that. I hope you guys enjoyed the post-fight show. Make sure you guys smash the likes, and if you're new, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the fights and the video in the comments down below. I appreciate each and every one of you for supporting. Got to show me some extra love, fighting through the cold all week and still dropping the banger daily content. Much love, everybody. Big W's to all of you. I appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you guys for 29,000 subs, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.